As you can see behind me, the Aprilia Super Teens are lining up on the Mallory Park grid. It is blistering sunshine here, about 30 degrees, track temperature 40 degrees. How will they cope out there? Welcome to GP Racing Dream.
Welcome to Mallory Park in Leicestershire for GP Racing Dream, presented by Thundersport GB. And a crowd already enjoying the blazing sunshine here, and the race action on track is going to be just as hot. We have our youngsters of the Aprilia Super Teens to serve up today. Couple of races from them. Steve's going to take us first on a lap of the track. Steve.
Thanks very much, Robin. Here we are then into turn one here at Mallory, Gerrard's corner. A long right-hander. You can slick up the gears here, try and hug the line on the inside, and then, well, certainly on Super Teen 125 machines, you'll be up into sixth gear here before knocking them down into the newest part of the Circuit Ed Wieners chicane. Left, then right, great opportunity for overtaking. And then back on the power through the S's. Right here, clip the curb if you can, just on the left, and then uphill to the sharpest hairpin in Britain, Shaw's. Down to probably second gear on these little Super Teens, and then winding on again through the bus stop chicane, and then on the exit of here, it's all about the bravest on the power. Around Devil's Elbow, a fast, kinked left-hander, and then back on the start-finish straight.
Thanks very much, Steve. It's great to see this circuit bathed in sunshine. The qualifying sessions yesterday were damp, greasy, and frankly horrible. But today, conditions completely different. And it's the championship leader, Tom Oliver, to see Steve on the grid.
Championship leader, Tom Oliver, number 20, starts on pole position for Mallory Park here. 35 degrees track temperature here, a blistering one. Second position, newcomer, Joe Francis, orange vest. Well, it's gone now. Fantastic ride for him yesterday. Third on the grid, we've got Ben Luxton having a good day yesterday, 2 second positions, and it's a first ever front row start for Ryan Vickers from Thetford. The youngster is only 12 years old. It's his first ever front row start.
Thanks very much, Steve. Yes, absolutely brilliant performance by all the youngsters yesterday, but as you specially pointed out there, quite right, Ryan Vickers on that front row. Let's just hope his nerves don't get the better of him. Let's hope he can turn that brilliant qualifying into good starts as well. Well, it's a tasty front row as away they go, and there, the entire grid getting away. I thought somebody was stationary there, but they all got away safely. And Ryan Vickers getting a little swallowed up at the start, Steve, but only to be expected.
Yes, nerve-wracking for young Ryan, and he didn't get off the line very well. He's been swallowed up. I think he's actually outside the top 10 or 12 there. But a good start for Ben Luxton, number 9. Ben from Stockport. The 16-year-old riding very well here at Mallory Park. Just behind him, number 20, Colchester's Tom Oliver, the championship leader. We just got a shot there of Ryan Longshaw, a newcomer, looking over his shoulder. In third position, 75, Brad Jones, and then the chattering front end with the red helmet there of Joe Francis in fourth.
Yeah, Joe's bike really did not looking very comfortable at all on the approach to the hairpin, Steve, and that really is under extreme braking, isn't it? You're very quick up the hill there, and you have to carry the speed, but my goodness me, you have to use the brakes as well. That bike doesn't look as though it's quite as comfortably set up as Joe'd like.
No, there's a couple of places in Britain where I've seen Super Teens do that, into Shaw's hairpin and also into the first hairpin at Pembrey. The Super Teens just don't seem to like them very much, but there is Joe Francis, recently got rid of his orange vest. He is still a novice for this season. He's the leading Nitro newcomer, but this weekend he's been mustered. He did very well here yesterday, but in front, Tom Oliver. Well, what can you say about young Tom in front there, Robin? He's finished every single race so far this season.
Yeah, I think the great thing about Tom at the moment at this stage is that he's not, if you like, committing a mistake that we've seen some young riders do at this stage of the season before. When they've got a championship lead, they start getting a bit nervous. Their performances start to go off. They start riding just to get a finish and just to get a few points. And Tom seems to have not gone down that road. He's up there fighting for race wins as well. And I think it's the right thing to do, keeps the concentration going.
Yes, and he's fully aware as well of who's around him and what points he needs to collect where, and he doesn't do anything too foolish out on circuit. There's Joe Francis, he's having a bit of a mare here. He's dropped down a couple of places, maybe got one or two problems with the bike. We mentioned the chattering front end a little earlier. Maybe he's got some front suspension issues, but at the moment it's number 20, Tom Oliver, that leads just ahead of 13-year-old Bradley Jones, number 75. Then it's 9, Ben Luxton, 17, Alistair Deus, and then Ross Twyman, I think, in the all-black just behind him.
Yes, indeed. Another good start for Alistair Deus. Alistair's been running up the front at most of the race meetings throughout the year, but I think it's fair to say he hasn't necessarily had the best slice of luck, Steve.
No, unfortunately, he's had some serious bad luck throughout the season. He's certainly capable of winning races. There's no doubt about that. That was proved over at Anglesey. But Mallory Park, I don't think, is his favourite circuit, despite not living too far away over in Birmingham. But we'll keep a close eye on him. There's Ross Twyman. Ross, who's normally very, very good in the wets, seems to be having a slightly better day here in the dry also.
Bradley Jones really putting the pressure on at the front. He got up alongside Tom Oliver. He pulled up ahead of him. Tom fought back and is indeed fighting back again. But Brad Jones, he's now become, Steve, I think he's at that stage where we're expecting him to be a winner almost every time he races.
Yes, here he is on the left here, just having a look up the inside of Tom Oliver into Shaw's hairpin. He has become a great rider. We do expect to see him on the podium because he's got that ability, and I think he believes in himself now also. And you can see that because he's just taken the lead ahead of Tom Oliver, championship leader. A bit further back there, there's 194 and 212. That's Robin Lindsay, Russell Brown going around.
Yep, Robin Lindsay, one of our 3 young lady riders out there, along with Charlie Oakland and Leanne Hunt. Up the front, it's still game on. Tom Oliver back into the lead just.
Oh, we've got red flags, Robin.
Goodness me, and the marshal's there. And, you know, well, it always pleases me to say, Steve, the youngsters, the Aprilia Super teams, are so quick to respond to the marshals, and you can see immediately it's been easy for the marshals to get them under control there. Well, that red flag being caused by an incident involving young Sam Smith. He's substantially okay, so we'll go back down to Steve on the grid.
Well, unfortunately, due to an incident out on circuit, that race had to be stopped, but it looks like we've got a 2-part race. The riders have lined up on the grid. Robin, back over to you.
Well, thanks very much indeed. Yes, indeed. Thankfully, a rare stoppage in Super Teens, but Sid goes walkabout again, and it's part 2 of the race. Tom Oliver, Brad Jones, and Ben Luxton. They will be looking to start where they finished the early attempt to run it, right up the front, but Tom Oliver not getting such a good start that time, Steve, and Joe Francis there hopefully will, from his point of view, the chattering at the front end will not affect him in the second part of this race.
No, another good start from Ben Luxton, though, number 9. He makes his way through Edwina's first. This is, of course, a 2-part race. That means that their times from the first 6 laps will be added on to the times from this 5-lap dash, and then we'll have an overall result. So I'll try and keep you updated as to who is where, but it's Ben Luxton that leads from Bradley Jones out on circuit. Oh, Alistair Deus just running wide there, having a bit of a sit-up moment, and Tom Oliver, I think, is now in 3rd position. Just and Alistair Deus, pull it into the pits.
That's what you call an untidy couple of corners, Alistair, but hey, he's still on board. He's got the super glue on the seat, and the only shame will be if he does that again. I think he's had a couple of lessons there, and let's hope he's taken them on board. Look at Tom Oliver, though, run the outside of Gerard's sweeping line there, being chased hard by Joe Francis, the leading Nitro newcomer. Tom Oliver, that was phenomenal. He sat there in 3rd place, trying to get the better of Ben Luxton and Brad Jones, but and a big sit up there, and having to ride through. Is that Brad Jones that's gone? Yes,
it is.
And he has to give way there, Steve, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, unfortunate there for Bradley Jones, but he is still on it. There's Ben Luxton, then number 9. He leads the second part. Tom Oliver in 2nd. Joe Francis having a better bite at the cherry in 3rd position. Alistair Deus just block passing everyone into Shaw's hairpin, and Ross Twyman comes out of it, the victor. But no, Bradley Jones goes back up into 4th position again.
Brilliant stuff. Just to be clear there, you can take to that safety runoff at Wieners, but you mustn't take any advantage from it. And Brad lost a couple of places, so that was okay. But look at the leaders now. This is a great battle, and Tom Oliver fights back at the inside, goes up the inside of Ben Luxton. So Tom Oliver back in the lead. Ben Luxton still second. And Joe Francis, look, he's like a limpet there. The leading Nitro newcomer, he's not to be shaken off, Steve, is there in third.
No, and he's going to have a look up the inside at second position here as they go into Wieners, and he's made it. So he just goes ahead of Ben Luxton. Of course, Joe Francis in that first part, down in 7th position after falling back a bit, so he has got work to do. Tom Oliver could actually just slip behind him if he was to go past, and he'd win this race. So look at Bradley Jones, though, around the outside into Shaw's hairpin to move up to 3rd position. A great manoeuvre there from young Bradley.
Yeah, I think all you can say about that is I don't think many riders will expect to be overtaken on the outside running into Shaw's hairpin, but beautifully done. Brad back up into 3rd, so we got 4 for it up the front, and we've got a little 6-way battle behind. Make that 7-way. There's 7 machines in there, and Ross Twyman, David Allingham, who's the second of the Nitro newcomers, Harry Coomber's up there, Louis Dawson, Ryan Longshaw back again with us. He's missed a couple of events, but it's good to see Ryan Longshaw back there. He's 3rd Nitro newcomer at the moment.
Yeah, Ryan's back with us, and Joe Francis, the other newcomer who leads overall, went up the inside of Tom Oliver into turn 1 a little while ago. Classic move from young Joe, 13 years old, remember. And it is the final lap, Robin, so he'd have to really gap these guys over the next few corners if he wants any chance of winning or even on the podium.
Yes, it's been a brilliant ride nonetheless by Joe Francis, and he heads him down through the elbow for the last time. There's a slower rider on the road ahead of him, but I don't think that's going to come into play as the checker flag is being unfurled. This has been an excellent ride by Joe Francis. He sees the checker flag, but Steve, I think when we do the count back, adding up the times from the first part of the race and the second, we are going to have another win for Tom Oliver. And there it's confirmed, he wins from Bradley Jones. Ben Luxton was 3rd, Joe Francis eventually 4th, ahead of Alistair Deas, Ross Twyman, David Allingham, Harry Coomber, Louis Dawson and Ryan Longshaw. Well, the 1, 2, 3 overall, Tom Oliver, Brad Jones and Ben Luxton on the podium. In the Nitro newcomers, the win goes to Joe Francis from David Allingham and Ryan Longshaw.
3rd place, Ben Luxton. Ben, after a few rounds, you must be very happy to be back on the podium again and collecting some serious points.
Yeah, definitely, because I've had a tough few rounds and that race is just crazy. The pace is so fast at the moment, and it's really hard to stay with him, but I'm happy with that, definitely.
The weather conditions very hot out there as well. It must be pretty hot and sweaty in those leathers.
Yeah, we'll have to drink a lot of water, and I'd like to thank Dave at High Fibre and the rest of my sponsors, my mum and dad, my grandma and my granddad and everyone else.
Well done to you, Ben. We'll see you in the second race.
Right.
2nd place in that race, Bradley Jones. 2-part races are always difficult to know where you are, but how did you feel in that one?
Yeah, well, 2-part races are always difficult. You just got to build up gradually and then basically hope for the best and just try and push through as hard as you can. And obviously the weather helps today because it's just perfect weather, couldn't be any better really. Yeah, it was a great race.
And anyone to thank at all, Bradley?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Dylan Faber Roofing, EC Electricals and my granddad and just all the marshals and Mallory Park for giving us a great meeting.
Well done to you.
Yeah, cheers.
Winner of that race, championship leader Tom Oliver. You keep on racking up these points. You got a win yesterday, another win today. Your dad was actually saying that yesterday's win was probably the best of your career.
Yeah, well, I think so. We gambled with the dry front tyre and it just happened to pay off. Everyone else went wet and just managed to take the win yesterday. And today we had a 2-part race and I managed to get the win in the first one, which put me on pole for the second race. And Joe just managed to get me over the line, but it was done over time, so I just managed to get it.
You must have known you had it though.
Yeah, I had a feeling.